Now, the next topic is about to be about Don Lemon. And he was essentially, as we all know, he was fired from CNN, in the wake of sexist comments and reported mistreatment of colleagues, which I didn't hear about any mistreatment of colleagues or anything like that. So that's going to be really interesting to get into. Now, it's debatable whether his comments were sexist or anything like that. Maybe he has other comments. I thought he was talking about the girl being out of her prime or something like that, which I wouldn't necessarily see saying that somebody is out of their prime is sexist. I don't know how that would be. Like if I'm saying LeBron James is now 45 years old, he's out of his prime as a NBA player. Like I don't feel like that's an attack. I feel like that's more or less just like a fact, and everything like that. Like for instance, like especially I would say the easiest way to say it would be with sports. Like is it offensive to say that, a 50-year-old football player is now out of his prime? It's not a bad thing. It's just saying the person is older. Their body isn't at that peak optimal point. Like everything is a hill, it's a slope, and then you have a top, and then it goes down, And as much as it sucks to be on the latter part of the hill, it's good and mature to acknowledge that is a thing. So let's just see what it says. There's our boy Don Lemon. Now, it says CNN on Monday fired anchor Don Lemon in wake of sexist on-air comments and reports that he mistreated female coworkers during his 17 years at the network. I had not heard this. This also makes me think too, did they just not like that he called a woman out of his prime and now they're kind of like trying to spin it a little bit? I'm not saying that this didn't happen or anything. I just think it's interesting. 17 years is a long time to be working at some place, and like you're doing wrongdoings and things like that, and there's no kind of misconception about it. But after you make some comments a few weeks ago, all of a sudden now this is out here. Also, while you're getting fired, I just think that that's something that we should take a look into. Now, an hour before Lemon announced his termination, Fox News said that right-wing primetime host Tucker Carlson is leaving cable network immediately. As you guys know, Tucker Carlson left as well. And I think that they said that the valuation of CNN went down like either 50 million or 50 or 500 million as a result of Tucker Carlson leaving. Is this becoming one of those situations where it's like, what is it? Woke is broke, kind of like how Bud Light tried to have a woke ad and they lost a lot of money for it and had to basically come out and apologize. As you guys know, even cable content networks like Disney, they've been putting out a lot of woke shows and the reviews have not been doing well. That they've been losing a lot of money because of that. It's like I think people are getting to the point now where they're getting tired of this whole like woke agenda. I think it really was pushed. People were like, okay, this isn't bad. We want everybody to feel included and everything like that. But at the point where everybody was included, and then people start asking for more or pushing the storylines that you've been known since you were a little kid and changing them up just to fulfill some type of notion. I think now people are like, people are kind of getting tired of the whole woke thing. But maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, said on Sunday, NBC Universal said CEO Jeff Shell has left his role due to a inappropriate relation with a woman in the company. Lemon, who had hosted CNN this morning as scheduled, said his agent was informed about his termination Monday morning. He said he was stunned by the news. I'm sure he was. He probably thought his comment was like a little extra, for TV, but he probably didn't think it was like fireworky. He didn't know how these woke people be. He said, I would have thought somebody in management would have the decency to tell me directly. That is kind of sad to hear it by your agent when you work somewhere for 17 years. He said in a Twitter post, at no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network. Now, he added, it's clear that there are some larger issues at play without offering more details. I believe that too as well. I think they're trying to save some face. I think they were seeing a lot of comments coming out saying, oh my God, like, how dare you say, like, that woman or whatever isn't in her prime. I think in this case, I do think he was wrong. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think he was saying that the woman isn't in her prime when she was trying to run for a government office. I don't think there really is a prime necessarily when it comes to government office because that's more of a mental thing. I mean, obviously, maybe if it's the case of Joe Biden where you don't know where to walk when you go off stage, you're falling off of bikes and you're falling asleep at meetings, then maybe we can talk about prime then. But in general, somebody who's 50, even 60, it's not their age shouldn't really have too much of a play in the decisions that they make with politics. Now, I think that he was talking about politics but saying that she was out of her prime because of her age. I think that was the mistake. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, if we're talking about something like her ability to bear children, guys, please don't cancel me for this, then obviously she's going to be out of her prime. If you're 50 years old and let's say your maternal, or what would you call it, your maternal or your fertility ends at 35, then clearly from that standpoint you're out of your prime. That doesn't mean you're out of your prime in other ways. It just means that as far as that aspect, you're out of your prime. I used to play soccer my entire life. I'm 27 now. Compared to how I was back in the day, I'm extremely out of my prime. 19, 18-year-old me will probably beat the brakes off of 27-year-old me in soccer because I'm no longer in my prime. Now, if somebody was to say, hey, Jordan, like you was nice back in the day, you probably couldn't get right now, I'm not going to take that as offense because that's just facts. And over here at the channel, we always want to keep our feelings out of it. And I feel like if something like that, you see it as an insult, then you're thinking more about your feelings than what the person is actually saying. Now, CNN, a unit of Warner Bros. Discovery, Monday disputed Lemon's account of his departure. The network called Lemon's comments inaccurate, saying he was offered an opportunity to meet with management, but instead released a statement on Twitter. So we got kind of a back and forth here. They're saying, no, we offered him the opportunity to talk about it. He didn't want to talk about it. Now, it says shortly after Lemon first tweeted that he was fired, the network's CEO, Chris Litt, and said the anchor and CNN parted ways. They said he will forever be a part of the CNN family, and we thank him for his contributions over the past 17 years. We wish him well and will be cheering him on in his future endeavors. CNN added that the morning show Lemon hosted alongside anchors Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins would continue to run. The program has been on air for nearly 6 months, and the network says it's committed to its success. So the morning show that he's on will continue without him, but who knows? A lot of the fans might have really liked him. He'd been there for 17 years. I'd known who Don Lemon was, but I don't really know who Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins are. So a lot of people might have been watching for Don. Now, Lemon faced backlash in February for his remarks about a Republican candidate, Nikki Haley, shortly after it was announced her bid for the White House. Now, he said, Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. A woman is considered to be in their prime in their 20s and 30s, maybe 40s. He said on air, the 51-year-old Haley. He must be watching too much red pill content or something like that, or some MGTOW content. Because, bro, yes, a woman is technically, I would say, in her prime, in her 20s, her 30s. That's when she's youthful. She's able to have children. As we all know, models are around that age group and everything like that. So obviously that would be considered, someone's prime. Like if you're a male, your athletic prime is probably going to be, in your late teens, your 20s, and once you start hitting those 30s, you're no longer in your athletic prime. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what he got wrong is he's speaking about her as a woman in her prime, but we're not talking about physically. We're talking about her ability to be efficient in government, which are two completely different things. And that's why I think that was a stupid statement. Now, I do think it was a stupid statement to fire the man, to call him sexist for it. I don't think it was sexist at all. I just think essentially he was talking about two very different dynamics. Now, he apologized for his remarks about Haley. They also said that Lemon would undergo formal training because of his sexist comments. The network head earlier this month told Semaphore earlier this month that CNN and Lemon have moved on for the issue. His firing also follows a lengthy Variety story this month that alleged the anchor had a history of threatening and making offensive remarks to female staffers at CNN. See, if he was doing that, then yes, I understand. But my question is, 17 years, why we not hear nothing about that, until now. I'm feeling like they're kind of trying to push an agenda on him of, hey, if you want to make any type of comments like this, if you feel like it's okay to say that a woman isn't in her fertility pride because she's 60 years old, then we're going to demonize you. We're going to fire you. And we're going to use Don Lemon as an example of that. Basically saying, hey, shut up. That's what I'm seeing here is, hey, even if you feel it, shut up, Now, the report was based on more than a dozen former and current colleagues of Lemon. Most of them spoke anonymously to the outlet. Excuse me. Now, I want to hear who's not anonymous, because, like I said, this seems like this came out the blue, so I want to hear some people really talk about their experiences working with him. Now, they say among the incidents, he got angry when he was passed over for a reporting assignment in favor of former CNN correspondent Kyra Phillips in 2008. He had been anchoring CNN's Live From program at the time. Phillips later received 2 threatening texts from an unknown sender, and CNN traced them back to Lemon, according to the Variety. That would be crazy. But this happened back in 2008. If they traced it back to Lemon, if they really did, why wasn't he fired? I don't think you get to just threaten your coworkers and just like, okay, well, we caught him. We caught you threatening her right there, but you're not fired. This was in 2008, guys. So it seems weird. A spokesperson for Lemon criticized the article at the time it was published, telling NBC News that it's amazing and disappointing that Variety would be so reckless. The spokesperson told NBC that Variety's story is riddled with patently false anecdotes and no concrete evidence, is entirely based on unsourced, unsubstantiated 15-year-old anonymous gossip. Well, Lemon is under attack. See, guys? That's why. Hey, if you ever make a red pill channel or something, make sure you don't have a job, guys. Because trust me, women can go online and talk about men are trash, men aren't doing this, men aren't that. All men are ugly. Men are ugly. They're dusty. They're crusty. But if you come out here and you talking about women aren't in their prime, women are dusty, women are crusty, women do this, women do that, guys, you're gonna get canceled. It is not an equal playing field here. Just know, if you got a job, it's not gonna be perceived the same way, guys. And so just know that. Like, I'm giving you the warning, and that's why I'm very, very calculated also in the things that I say here on my channel too, because I understand, like, there may be things that I believe that, you know what I'm saying, just you can't say in certain aspects. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it as real and as raw as possible, but there does come a certain time where there's something I want to say, and like maybe I'll hint at it, kind of with you guys, but like I won't say it outright because I know what the possible consequences and stuff can be of that. Look at what happened to Andrew Tate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look at what happened to Andrew Tate. They had no evidence on this man. They still have no evidence on this man. But he was essentially locked up because of the way that he felt, the opinions that he had. So, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but there definitely can be consequences for the opinion that you have. Now, he served on Don Lemon Tonight for more than 8 years. A year ago, Jeff Zucker, the president, resigned for failing to disclose a romantic relationship with a high-ranking colleague. Like, why is this even a part of this? Because now it seems like they're just trying to put him into play with other people who did misconduct. Like, hey, if we throw, people who did sexual misconduct in this article, then that means that Don Lemon is somehow more guilty because we are just speaking about other people. That seems kind of disingenuous to me. CNN also fired former primetime anchor Chris Cuomo. A year earlier, the network's decision followed an investigation by the Attorney General Letitia James that revealed how Cuomo helped his brother and former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo respond to sexual harassment allegations. He filed an arbitration complaint against CNN last year, seeking $125 million for wrongful termination. The case is still pending. This is all just them trying to say this was wrongdoings that came, sexual misconduct that came out of CNN. We're going to put this next to it. So you feel like Don Lemon is in the same type of party with these people. These are all completely separate, interactions and everything like that, or relationships, between the person and the company. So I want to know what you guys think. Are you guys for the Don Lemon firing? Do you guys feel like Don Lemon shouldn't be fired? Do you guys feel like they're trying to push an agenda, or do you feel like, no, he actually just said something that was really stupid and it was sexist, so he deserved to be fired and everything like that? Also, let me know what you guys think about these like kind of like trumped up charges that they're kind of putting on this man, like after the fact. Like, do you guys think this is just something that everybody knew in the background, and now they were like, oh, we got a reason to actually fire him for this now, cause like we got him, guys? Like, or let me know what you guys think about that situation. But definitely like, comment, subscribe, and all that. I appreciate everyone who's popped into the stream today. I really love you guys. I appreciate you guys a lot, and it's good to get out here and be as well informed as we can and have a nice place where we can have some civil discourse. So I definitely appreciate all you guys for that. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. I'm sure it's going to be better than the days Don Lemon is having and everything about that. And definitely hit me up in the comments to let me know how you feel about a lot of these topics.